When we first went to Bulgaria, it literally was just because my husband bought a property there. I didn't even know where it was on the planet. But God showed us this Roma father one day teaching his son to rummage through the garbage. And they do this because they need food. This young boy's shoes were falling off, and we were able to give him my daughter's old shoes. But from that day on, we knew that Bulgaria wouldn't just be a holiday place. God just gave us a heart for that nation. There's always been times where we've had to pray. Even when my husband was working, there was times where money were really tight, and we would pray for money for food. And God would take care of us. So one time we wanted to go on a holiday mission trip, and we didn't have the finances to be able to go. So I said to my husband, why don't we just sell some stuff that we don't use anymore? Like, we have kids' old bikes and just stuff the children had grown out of. So we started to sell everything and do, things to be able to raise money. And then we were £200 short of being able to go. We had 2 weeks until our date that we could go within Steve's time frame of being able to go from work. And I was in the kitchen making a cup of tea, and I just said to God, just not even a deep prayer. It was just, God, please, we need £200 and you have 2 weeks. All of a sudden there was something through the letterbox, and I said to my son, the mailman's really late today. And then I went round to the front door, and on the floor was a thick envelope, a very thick envelope, and it just said something like, because you need it, or God's blessings or something. And when I opened it, there was literally £200 to the pound, like it was all there, a big thick wad of money. I was like, God, you've done it again. You've done it again. And my kids were really excited because I told them we can actually go. Look what God has done again for us. So now we live in Bulgaria. We want to show, even with practical things, that you have a value. You're not rubbish. Just because you go through the rubbish, you're not rubbish. You're not unvalued. You are a valued person in the sight of God. Since we've moved there, we've been able to help Roma with like clothing, hygiene products, things like this. But also when the Ukrainian crisis happened, we were able to help many Ukrainian families. We 100% trusting God to provide for us. Living by faith is really challenging. It's not always rosy, and it's not always, yeah, I've got all the faith to believe for this. It really isn't. Especially if I find myself looking at the finances or at the bills, I feel God say to me then, will you trust me? Will you trust me? Every time, every month, it's like, will you trust me? One time we were shopping, and it was coming towards the end of the month. We had paid for the groceries, and literally I said to my daughter, we have £6 left in the account. So literally we were saying on the way home, God, please stretch the fuel for us to even be able to get home, because it was on empty and we had a half-hour drive. We arrive home, we put the shopping away, and suddenly my phone made a ping, and I looked, and on my phone somebody had just put £50 into our account that doesn't ever normally support us or anything. And I just said to Hannah, oh, there's our fuel money. God did it again. He's done it again.